answers all the time. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM, New York.
Good morning. It's 48 degrees at 1 o'clock on Monday, April 27th. I'm Mitch Levy, and here's what's happening. President Trump appeared on 60 Minutes last night, talking his brush with death. He talked about that at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday night, referring to the suspected shooter. He said
he was probably a pretty sick guy.
Trump also criticized interviewer Norah O'Donnell, referring to Jeffrey Epstein in one of her questions. Investigators are looking into the ease at which Cole Allen got so close to the president, carrying guns and knives. King Charles and Queen Camilla are still planning to visit the White House today, despite the recent events in Washington. A $5,000 reward being offered for information about the man who shot and killed a bodega worker in the East Village on Saturday night. Democrats in Congress are looking into President Trump's involvement in the Penn Station project. And in sport, the Yankees lose to Houston while the Mets lose 2 to Colorado. AccuWeather says mainly clear overnight, a low of 44 in the city, upper 30s in some suburbs. And later on today, turning warmer with sunshine and a high of 66. Wins News Time 101. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Mayan Levinson.
Now about the bridges and tunnels heading to the Bronx at the Whitestone Bridge. One lane is blocked due to a crash. Queensbound, you're looking good. No problems at the Throgs Neck Bridge. At the RFK Bridge, as you're heading into the Bronx, 2 lanes are closed for overnight construction. Hudson River crossings looking good at the George Washington Bridge. Lincoln Tunnel, that's Center Street closed in both directions for overnight construction. Road work in both directions at the Holland Tunnel. As you're traveling in New Jersey, there is some road work on the Turnpike's western spur southbound, starting in Ridgefield down to Kearney. Route 280. All lanes are closed, so the eastern spur will be your alternate. Checking the ride in Manhattan, not too bad of a ride on the east and west sides of that. The Battery Park underpass, that is closed on the southbound side for overnight construction. In Brooklyn, road work on the Belt West, Cropsey Avenue at the Bay Parkway. 2 lanes are closed. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. Road work on the Northern State eastbound from the LIE at the Round Swamp Road. All lanes are closed. LIE and the Southern State are looking good. Mayan Levinson, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Well, less than 24 hours after last night's shooting incident inside the hotel housing the White House Correspondents' Dinner, President Trump was on 60 Minutes last night, a program he has criticized frequently in the past. CBS News anchor Norah O'Donnell read part of the manifesto written by the suspected shooter, Cole Allen, that part which refers to the Epstein files, quoting Allen as writing, quote, "I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile rapist and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes."
I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things.
That audio from Sunday night's 60 Minutes on CBS. The investigation is still young, but the question persists: how did a man with guns and knives get that close to a room housing the president, vice president, members of the administration and Congress, and much of the Washington press corps?
When a man charged the Secret Service checkpoint, it exposed a security vulnerability that law enforcement officials had long feared. Authorities say the suspect booked a room at the Washington Hilton, giving him access to an otherwise secure hotel with unchecked baggage. The Secret Service is crediting the strength of our layered security posture for stopping the gunman before he entered the ballroom. Still, it was a vivid reminder of the violent threats coursing through the country. President Trump has already been a target. A gunman targeted him in Butler, Pennsylvania. An armed man was arrested outside one of his golf courses, and in February, an armed man drove through the security perimeter at Trump's Palm Beach resort.
Correspondent Aaron Katersky. Suspect Cole Allen scheduled to be arraigned today in federal court in Washington.
Only hours after the attack, The FBI and SWAT teams were already descending on the suspect's home in California. Authorities also have warrants for Allen's mobile devices and computers as they seek to exploit any social media posts and to look for other evidence. Allen is a trained mechanical engineer working as a tutor, according to a LinkedIn page connected to him. He graduated from Caltech in 2017 and from California State University, Dominguez Hills in 2025, according to representatives for both schools.
And that's correspondent Pierre Thomas. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has more now on today's arraignment.
We expect that the suspect will be charged tomorrow morning in federal court with 2 counts, assault of a federal officer and use of a firearm during a crime of violence. We're going to continue to investigate, and it'll just be a complaint tomorrow, and indictment will be coming in the coming days or weeks, and go from there.
And as we say, that arraignment will be held today in Washington Federal Court. Buckingham Palace says the trip of King Charles and Queen Camilla to the White House today will still go forward despite the recent events in Washington. Here's British Ambassador to the U.S., Sir Christian Turner.
Our teams were in touch way through the night and will be through the day to see whether the events of last night have any change in our operational planning, and I'm very confident that Their Majesties will have the very best security throughout the visit.
And he made his comments on CBS's Face the Nation. The Times is reporting that Mayor Mondani and King Charles will be together for a wreath-laying ceremony at the September 11th Memorial in Lower Manhattan on Wednesday, but there are currently no plans for a private meeting. One man is dead, another injured after a deli shooting in the East Village late on Saturday night. Police say it happened just after 11:30 in front of Sal's Deli and Grocery near East 13th and Avenue B. 28-year-old Saleh Abdul died of his injuries. The other victim is in stable condition. The police believe it stemmed from an argument inside the deli, and that again is pointing to the problem of safety for deli workers. Fernando Mateo is a spokesman for the United Bodegas of America.
We were crawling off the stage, and in the back, that is a holding area where people wait, including President Trump and distinguished guests, to go onto the stage. And we were sitting there, and I saw more than a dozen SWAT officers. There were members of the Secret Service milling about. There were members of the president's team. It was their quick work that protected all of us that night.
Yes, that's back to the shooting again. That was Weijia Jiang, who is the president this year of the Washington White House Press Corps, and she was telling about the plans for security at that Saturday night dinner. When's news time?